with the airlines. Two, some of these airlines, are not have not properly trained all their staffs the way they should be. Well, that brings me to the issue of consumer protection, which is also one of the responsibilities of NCAA. That consumer protection is key in the industry. Again, an aircraft that is built to fly probably may not have flown. One, maybe due to technical problems, maybe due to weather, maybe due to security challenges, but it is the responsibility of the airline to communicate and convey this in a very polite manner to the traveling passengers. If they have not done that, they are not living up to expectations. Again, the passenger in question should also take his complaint to the Consumer Protection Unit of NCAA, who also have the powers by the mandate of the Act to penalize airlines that are not protecting consumers. So some of these things were things that we discovered and called on NCAA to strengthen the Consumer Protection Unit, because that is the only way the passenger rights will be protected. That is the only way the traveling passenger will also feel comfortable. That is also the only way to compensate passengers who have been inconvenienced or are not pleased with the way they've handled their affairs in the course of their trip.
Now, we know we are experiencing a huge security challenge in Nigeria. So some Nigerians have raised concerns about how secure are the airports in the country, and what is your committee doing to further make sure that Nigerians are safe as they travel by air?
No, there is an integrated master plan for airport security going on there, because presently this remodeling that is going on in so many of our airports makes most of our airports now look like a construction site. So under that status, the security equipments and installations that are necessary to ensure at least 100% security proof airport is there. But I can tell you, as soon as the remodeling is completed and the airport is free and the contractor is allowed to do installations, they've procured most of the equipments that are needed. Airport security now is not only dependent on manpower alone. It is more of communication equipments, it's more of computerized equipment, it's more of electronic equipment. So I think that what we have done to bring an expert, the company that has been commissioned is well experienced, been long in the business. They've worked both in Europe and in America, and the moment they complete what they've been assigned to do, I'm sure all our passengers, travelers, stakeholders will be very confident and happy with the job they will do.
Now, this is where we call it a day for this week's edition of The Gavel. If you have any views or opinions on any of the issues discussed, please email us on thegavil@channelstv.com. Thank you for staying with us, and see you again next week.
For the first time, West Africa and Nigeria in particular will host World Economic Forum Africa meeting.
This is truly West Africa's moment and Nigeria's moment to shine, and it's a great coincidence that it coincides with the 100th anniversary of Nigeria.
WEF is going to provide a wonderful opportunity for us to showcase the country.
As the nation prepares to host the 24th edition of the meeting in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja,
it presents an extremely important opportunity for economic diplomacy, for cultural diplomacy, and for Nigerian business to canvass investments and form global partnerships.
It would be nice to listen and be part of the discussions to shape the future of not just the world, but the part of the world in which we live.
Channels Television, the best TV station in Africa, an 8-time winner TV Station of the Year, is a host broadcaster.
We are also going to be extending the technical expertise to some of our friends abroad to join hands with us in making sure that the West Africa is a success.
World Economic Forum Africa, forging inclusive growth, creating jobs.
Glad you could join us again on News Track. I'm Melinda Akinlami, and these are the stories and the reports we're tracking at this hour. The president is assuring Nigerians that all those who participated in attacks that claimed several lives in the country, especially the recent one that took place just before Easter in Abuja, will pay. President Goodluck Jonathan made this promise at this year's National Prayer and Breakfast meeting at the presidential villa yesterday. While thanking all those who have shown dedication to the country, even in the face of the attacks and losses, the president asked them not to relent because their support has encouraged him to work even harder. Our State House correspondent, Chukwuma Onekusi, reports.
No matter the situation and circumstances, their faith is built on solid ground. That seems to be the hope of Nigerian Christians as they gather in the presidential villa for the fourth presidential national prayer and breakfast that come immediately after Easter and the fasting that goes with it.
To ask God for more grace for the rest part of the torturous and checkered journey so far.
The only lesson of the day taken from the book of Luke, chapter 13, was delivered by the First Lady, Mrs. Patience Jonathan.
Verse 31 to 33.
There were also prayers for the nation, the president and other leaders, and all those who lost their lives following the Boko Haram attacks. The prayer here is that God will behold from heaven and intervene in the affairs of the nation.
In the mighty name of Jesus Christ.
There were also calls for forgiveness for sins, especially for a change of heart by those behind terror in the land. Even visitors recognize the fact that Nigeria needs peace now more than ever before.
To thank God for what he has done.
Professor Vincent Aniborgo, director of the National Institute for Transformation, came with very inspiring words for the president and concerned Nigerians.
Nations such as South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, and Israel, they have all emerged from major historical threats of annihilation to become great nations that they are today. My fellow Nigerians, if history is anything to go by, times of adversity has always been a season of growth as nations engage constructively to think their way out of their quagmire. Nigeria will not be different.
President Goodluck Jonathan prayed for the repose of the souls of the departed, promising that all those who take part in the attacks that claim innocent citizens must pay for it. He thanked Nigerians for standing for justice and called for divine wisdom and increased vigilance.
No matter what government does, we cannot recover the dead. But one thing we promise is that all those who took part in that act would surely pay for it.
The president reassured